Here's the thing. The real story isn't the model itself. It's why you, and pretty much everyone else, can't use it. This isn't your typical product launch. This is a containment strategy.
And get this, that quote? That's not some slick marketing line from a press release. That is a direct quote from a leaked internal document. It's a safety warning coming from the very people who built this thing they call Mythos.
And this is where the story gets really good, a little bit ironic actually. You have this unbelievably powerful cyber weapon, right? Designed to find the most complex hidden flaws in our digital world, and it gets exposed to the public because of a basic, almost comically human error.
So let's back up and talk about how this all unraveled. Because it didn't start with a big announcement. It started with a simple mistake that blew the whole thing wide open.
It all kicked off back on March 26th. A security researcher, Roy Paz, is just doing his thing and stumbles upon something he definitely should not have been able to see, a publicly accessible server. And what's on it? Oh, just about 3,000 internal Anthropic files, including a draft of a blog post detailing Mythos. Whoops. Anthropic, of course, confirmed the leak pretty quickly, saying it was human error in their content management system, and they shut it down. But you know how it is. The secret was already out.
So what can this model do that had its own creators so spooked they tried to keep it a secret? Let's get into the capabilities that really make Mythos a different kind of beast.
Well, in their own tests, Anthropic found that Mythos could, on its own, find thousands of security flaws that nobody knew existed. These are called 0 days. And we're not talking about obscure software. We're talking about the biggest targets on the planet. Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and all the browsers we use every day, Chrome, Safari, you name it.
Now, check out this number, 27. What's that? That's how many years a critical bug was hiding in plain sight in OpenBSD, an operating system famous for being one of the most secure on Earth. Human experts missed it for nearly 3 decades. Mythos found it.
And just so we're all on the same page, a 0-day vulnerability is basically a secret backdoor. It's a security hole the software maker doesn't even know is there. That means there's no patch, there's no fix, and whoever finds it has a wide open door to cause some serious trouble. Finding thousands of these at once is, and I'm putting this mildly, a huge deal.
And look, it's not just about finding bugs. The performance numbers here show a massive, massive leap. Just look at SWE-bench Pro. That's a test for solving really tough coding problems. Mythos is more than 20 points ahead of the competition. But what's really wild is how it does it. It has a mind-boggling 10 trillion parameters, but it uses a clever system called mixture of experts. So the actual computing cost is more like a 1 trillion parameter model. It's not just big, it's efficiently big.
Okay, so you've built an AI that's basically a world-class security researcher that could also be a world-class cyber weapon. What do? Well, this is where Anthropic's whole plan pivoted from a product launch to a full-on containment mission. Instead of just putting Mythos on their API for anyone to use, they created something called Project Glasswing. The idea is actually pretty simple. Give this incredibly powerful tool to the good guys first. Let them use it to find and patch all the holes in our critical infrastructure, before someone else builds a similar AI and uses it for attack.
And who gets to be in this exclusive club? Well, it's basically a who's who of the tech and finance worlds. You're talking Apple, Microsoft, Google, AWS, the companies that run the internet as we know it. This news, by the way, sent a shockwave through the markets. Big cybersecurity stocks like CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks dropped by as much as 11%, because Wall Street started to wonder if this AI could make their traditional security tools obsolete.
And all of this leads to a pretty big question, one that a lot of people are asking. For all the developers, the founders, the smaller companies out there trying to build things, what about everyone else? When does a tool this important get into the hands of people who aren't in that very small, very powerful inner circle?
But you have to wonder, is this story as simple as a responsible company doing the right thing? Or could there be something else going on here? Some critics are suggesting this whole controlled release might be more than just good ethics.
So you've really got 2 competing stories here. On the one hand, maybe this is a genuinely responsible containment strategy. It's cautious, it's ethical. But on the other hand, you could argue it's a brilliant marketing move. What better way to generate massive hype and attract investors than to announce you've built something too dangerous to release, all without letting anyone actually check your work?
Dr. Heidi Klopf over at the AI Now Institute put this skepticism pretty bluntly. She suggested we might be seeing a familiar playbook where safety is a PR tool to gain public trust before profits are prioritized.
But, maybe the best counter-argument isn't about PR at all, but about the technology itself. Research from a security firm called Isle suggests that the real secret sauce here isn't one single supermodel. No, it's the entire system you build around it, the whole pipeline for scanning, testing, and verifying that turns raw AI output into something actually useful.
And this table illustrates their point perfectly. ALS basically took Mythos' biggest discoveries and tried to replicate them, using smaller, cheaper, even open-source models. And the results? Well, on some tasks, they could get the same core findings. As you can see, the best model changes depending on what you're asking it to do. No single model wins at everything. This suggests that the real barrier to entry here might be lower than the whole too dangerous story implies. The capability frontier, as they put it, is jagged.
So here's the bottom line. Whether Mythos is a unique, one-of-a-kind model or just the first of many, it proves one thing for sure. A whole new class of AI-driven cyber capability has officially arrived.
And that means we are now in a race. The proof is out there. It is now only a matter of time, and we're probably talking months, not years, before other groups replicate this. And you can bet they won't all have the same ethical concerns about who gets to use it. The clock is officially ticking for the defenders.
Anthony Grieco from Cisco, one of the companies inside Project Glasswing, really captured the feeling of this moment. He said AI capabilities have crossed a threshold that fundamentally changes the urgency, and there is no going back.
Which leaves us all with one final nagging question. Anthropic, for its part, has tried to put this incredibly powerful genie back in the bottle. But in a world where AI is moving this fast, you have to wonder, for how long can any bottle or any one company really contain it?